Welcome to High Ground MTG's The Spindown.
That's right. The new show that we are, I don't know, what is that, commencing? What's that called when you bash a bottle on a ship and it sinks?
That's the Titanic, I think.
Welcome to the Titanic episode of The Spindown. Hopefully we don't go sinking into a water.
This is where we crash and burn.
That's right.
Oh, I'm going to turn up your audio because I think it might be down a little bit. Yeah, so we practice this a lot, as you can tell.
That's right.
We're ready for this. So this is something new we're gonna do. We wanted to talk to all y'alls about what's been happening in the world of Magic. We're not gonna necessarily do this like every week, but we figured we could do it every once in a while, just as something fun, something extra. So if you like it, let us know down in the comments. Tell us how much you hated this episode or how much you loved it, and yeah. So big thing, of course, we need to address the elephant in the room, which is Astrolabe is gone.
Thank friggin' goodness. That card, we needed to drop it from Modern like a bad habit and just out of here. I cannot be more excited that degenerate card is gone from the format. Ugh.
I'll say this. I'll say this. It's. I can't argue that it shouldn't have gone, but I do think it played a good role in a lot of ways. I think it did some good in the Magic world.
Yeah, but I also think that it facilitated way too many like 4-color decks, made it way too easy, and the fact that you can blink it and just recur card value, like the opportunity cost was way too low on that card.
Who was blinking it besides Yorion?
Exactly. Also,
yeah.
Order decks, like. Yeah. It was just way too easy to play 4-color good stuff. Opportunity and like building mana bases should come at a cost. Like you can't get too greedy, or you should have some sort of punishment for that. A la Blood Moon.
Oh, you and your Blood Moon.
If you haven't checked out the Blue Moon Emporion video on this channel.
Every time I see the name of that card, I always think of the Pokemon Empoleon. I don't know which one of those was actually made first. Probably the Magic card. But I think of Empoleon.
Nice.
So, I just expect a frigid flying penguin to come sailing out of your Magic deck. So yeah, you should have you shouldn't have free infinite color. Like that's probably a bad thing. I think that card was just like slightly too powerful. I do want to say though, I think one of the roles that Astrolabe filled was it made it so that you could have a reasonable mana base on a budget. You can spend, whatever it was, $1 to get a playset of Astrolabes, and suddenly you actually have access to the colors you need. All you have to do is, get the Snowlands, which Snowlands are free to play, so why not? I think if they were going to reprint something like this, tweak it to make it so that it wasn't overly powerful, they just have to take away one of its things.
I mean, definitely take away draw a card. Replacing itself, like
I don't even know if it was.
And we've seen how Modern has shifted from Modern Horizons. Everybody is playing Snow Basics. Like,
oh yeah, for sure.
There's no reason not to anymore. Though maybe now that Arkham's Astrolabe is out of the format, maybe people can go back to playing non-Snow Basics.
Yeah.
But
no, for sure. Like everyone's gonna drop Snow at this point.
Well, I mean, we'll see. Like Ice Fang Quaddle definitely gets a lot weaker. And that's probably the only other Snow payoff from Modern Horizons.
Nobody was playing that Tree Folk, sadly. So, I don't know. I think that there are ways you could do that card without making it overly powerful. And I think it also, like, while Astrolabe was definitely a powerful card, I think it's one of those cards that died for the sins of others. Namely Uro. Like, why is that card still a thing? And we'll see how powerful it is post ban. But certainly check out Kai Guy's video because it does make an appearance. It's definitely slower now. Like, I get the argument; it's slower.
I mean, it's so much slower. Like my opponent didn't cast. I just played a couple games. I played a game against the snow deck without Astrolabe, and I could really feel a difference. Like I felt like I had more game, and I felt like I had more opportunities. Especially playing Blood Moon. You know, I know a lot of people think that Euro probably should have gone, but I think without Astrolabe, that double green, double blue, that gets a lot harder, and you have to take more damage to yourself fetching for the right shocks. So you're losing like 2 to 3. You're losing more life, which obviously Euro negates that, but you know you're gaining way far ahead if you're playing Snow Basics and Arkham's Astrolabe. You know, and you knew that you could. The opportunity cost was just so much lower to do that. So
for sure. Like Uro and Astrolabe went together like bread and butter. I don't know. We'll see. I think Uro is still going to be a player. I think it's still going to be potentially problematic still. It's so good. Like the card advantage is so good.
Right. I'm not debating that Euro is good. I think it's extremely powerful, but I think that hopefully with Astrolabe out of the format, it'll get a little bit more balanced on how egregious it becomes. So
yeah, and I think as is often the case in Modern, like packing some sort of graveyard hate, you know, if you can fit it into the main board reasonably, is certainly relevant now as it pretty much always is. But
that's why I'm playing all Ashioks all the time in my sideboard.
Yeah,
Card, I just realized I realized that like if I'm running a blue or black deck, that card is always in my sideboard. Like I don't even think about it anymore. It's like, oh, got to make sure I have at least 2 of these. Like, so I think
Ashiok is great.
Become a new sideboard staple for Modern for sure. To the point where like I think I was playing a game and I didn't even realize that like it takes care of the graveyard. I'm just like, oh, it doesn't search because like the biggest thing that I have paid attention to is that like it just the static ability alone is worth it, and then get graveyard hate on top of that.
Yep. I will say that's definitely one of the static abilities that people forget most too. I think because like people see like, okay, you brought it in to deal with my graveyard, great. I'm gonna fetch and
right, exactly. They get got. I mean, I've gotten got by my own Ashiok. You know,
yeah.
But
no, it only says opponents, doesn't it?
Oh, it might. I'm
pretty sure it just because I know Arbiter affects everybody equally, which is why it's a fair Magic card. And Ashiok just says your opponents.
Right. So speaking of ban, is there anything else that you think should have gotten banned? Should have been unbanned?
No unbans. I don't think we needed any unbans.
I'm a hard degree on that. I know people were calling for pod and twin and all that nonsense.
Why?
Keep them banned. There's no reason to unban twin. We have goblins in the format, and there's no reason to unban pod. We see how awful Vanifar is, like in these Eldritch Evolution decks. Like,
can you imagine
pod would be absolutely disgusting. Yeah.
If pod had Vanifar, like if you could play a Vanifar with birth, like no thank you. And I know we've kind of discussed this before, but just kind of like Teferi and Force of Negation being in the format, like we don't need another combo deck. I don't want another combo deck that just like insta wins and I can't do anything about it. It's not fun. Like I guess you're dead when they go off, unlike some other combo decks, but
I said, I feel like combo decks happen all the time. We have Goblin combo now. It's probably more efficient than like hot take. I think it's probably more efficient than Splinter Twin. I don't know if it's as fun to play as like a blue red twin.
I still think you need to make a Grixis list of that deck, like just for science.
Maybe.
Comment down below if you want Kaigai to make a Grixis version of the Snoops deck.
Check out my Snoops video. I go over a thought experiment for that at the end of the video. Take a look. Let me know what you think. How I could improve.
Yep. Yeah, and the idea with that would certainly be that you don't make it a goblins deck anymore. It's just a combo deck, and how many pieces can you get away with just the combo pieces? So yeah, as far as unbans, nothing I'm really wanting to see. I got Containment Priest recently, so I'm pretty happy with that. Not that it was banned, but something new to Modern that wasn't there before. Made a video of that. You should check it out as well. Did pretty okay with myself. Did not get to see a lot of Containment Priests, sadly, in the games. But there was definitely a few different times where you could see how good they would have been had I had them at the time. But yeah. As far as extra bans, I know a lot of people are talking about Veil of Summer. I love that card. Yeah. It's great.
I hate that card.
Never.
It's too much of a hoser of it. Like, my gosh. I played a deck that was playing it main board. How could they possibly know that I was playing blue?
Okay, that's just wrong. No like, that was wrong. Yeah. Like that's a bad deck choice. Like you should not play that card main board.
I heard a very interesting hot take. I think it might have been Masters of Modern, where they were talking about like Veil of Summer is really good because it it obviously hates on like pretty popular cards. So like if you had another hate card that hated on like white and I don't know, or something, like colors that just did the same thing, like it wouldn't be as effective. But since blue and black, I don't know. It's been really interesting to see the insane push in green over the last year from Wizards. It's just oh my gosh.
Yeah, green gets everything.
Euro, Veil of Summer, all these really powerful green cards. And I don't know if it's maybe they just think that green has been underrepresented. This has led to my hatred of Utopia Sprawl, by the way. That card needs to get banned. That card needs to go. I'm tired of turn 3, turn 2, 4 mana nonsense. Ugh.
Utopia Sprawl is fine. Utopia Sprawl is fine.
It needs to go.
You know what needs to go? What I would just love to see them kick out of the Modern format, right now. Mystic Sanctuary. Mystic Sanctuary is the worst.
Fine. Totally fine.
That card is the worst to play against. I hate that it is fetchable. If it was not fetchable, it would be totally fine. If it was
they made a cycle of all basic lands that are fetchable.
And that is the only one that's good, and it is too good.
Do you know what the other colors even do?
The white, yes. Yeah, so
the red one makes a dwarf token, right?
Yep. The red one makes a dwarf. The black one, you get to put a creature on top of your library from your graveyard. The white one gives you...
Why aren't people using that one more?
Because it's not good enough. Because if you're playing a creature deck, you're not drawing cards at instant speed. That's what makes Mystic Sanctuary so powerful, is the fact that not only can you put it on the top of your deck, but because you're playing blue, because you're playing instants, because you're playing Mystic Sanctuary, you're also drawing cards at instant speed. So it's not just that I can use a card next turn. Obviously that happens sometimes.
You can do that in black. They just printed that 1 mana sacrifice.
It's not good. It's not a good card. I'm gonna use it.
Somebody just needs to make it good.
It's hilarious.
Sanctuary is fine.
No,
as a blue player, it offers the flexibility that you need to get the cards you need.
No,
in tight situations.
It was a mistake to make it fetchable. That's what I'm saying. It would be perfectly fine, and I think it would still see play, even if it wasn't fetchable. You wouldn't run 4 of them, but you could run 1 or 2. It's too good at fetching speed.
Yeah, but choke keeps it tapped, so it's totally fair. It gets destroyed to boil. Choke boil, it gets hated on by those.
It should not be an island. It should not be an island. It should not.
I think it's totally fine. I don't think.
Ban it. It's just miserable. That's what it is. It's miserable.
Person that doesn't play it.
Yeah, exactly. I play against. Often. So that's what I wanted to see go. I was really hoping that it would, but it hasn't broken the format yet. It just makes it miserable. That's all. So maybe someday. Right. I don't know what else should have gone. Was there anything else that plaguing Modern these days?
Like you said Or I think there's a hot contest about Veil of Summer. I think was up there. I think they made the right call with Astrolabe. I definitely think that should have gone.
I know people complain about Teferi a lot, but like,
yeah, I think that's the thing though, is that like people play it, and then they downtick, and then it's super easy to kill a lot. Like I don't feel like, and I'm a blue-red player, right? So like I don't like when it comes down, like I feel like I have enough answers usually to take care of it. I don't know. It doesn't seem to net enough value ever. Yeah. I guess it depends on the shell and the right build. Also, nobody's really playing blue-white anything. Like I guess the snow decks were for a little while, but like I guess we'll see if that's gonna keep going on.
Yeah,
I could see that. I don't feel like that is anywhere near oppression levels yet, or like annoying like this again. So I will contest that the static ability definitely sucks to play against.
People forget it's a thing, but
yeah. But I think it's okay for right now.
It's not breaking the format.
Yeah, and I think, like you said, the only other thing I can think of is maybe Astrolabe, or not Astrolabe, but Euro. That's probably going to be something to keep an eye on. But I think Wizards made the right call, getting rid of Astrolabe and kind of seeing where those decks go, and seeing if you can get enough graveyard hate going on to help deal with Euro. So. And there's so many flexible graveyard hate cards now, like sideboard. I think it's only a matter of time before Wizards prints like a main board modal spell like that you can use that like
they've done
the
it.
Graveyard. Yeah, but given their power level, power creep, I definitely don't think that I think that it's only a matter of time before we get a decent modal spell that you can like a braid, but like hits the graveyard.
Yeah, that's. I wish Blessed Alliance had that as a mode of like just like exile a graveyard. I think that would have been a great card to put that on. Like cut one of the other modes, like cut the untap thing, like and just.
I have been seeing people play Kaya's Guile a little bit.
Sure.
Really nice.
Which I think makes sense there. Speaking of graveyards, I've seen a lot of Dredge lately. I don't actually know if it's like on the top of the meta or anything, but I've seen a lot of Dredge.
I played against a little bit of Dredge.
Yeah.
The new tech, the new hotness is that Smite Ghoul.
Yes, with the burn spell, the Smiting Helix.
That combos off with Creeping Chill. So if they gain 3 life, it comes back to the graveyard.
So they've got eight ways to bring it back. All of them basically free.
That's why. Yeah. So I mean, graveyard hate is important in this meta, especially as like things kind of shake out and we see what the meta looks like post Arkham's Astrolabe ban. What do you expect to rise to the top? What are you thinking like will take its
mono red? I've seen a lot of mono red. I think it's gonna bubble its way up there. We'll see if humans can come back. They've got a lot of tech, a lot of pieces. I think Dredge is going to be a big player as well, just because of all the pieces they've gotten. Interesting enough,
Goblin. Goblin combo has really risen to the top. I think
we'll see. We'll see if somebody can make a good enough show.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of people are just 5-0ing, but now that like people are hip to it and then people are packing removal, I could see Jund kind of maybe eking its way back up to like not the top, but like keeping things in check. Keep an eye out for Gruul mid range. That the Ponza deck for sure.
Yeah,
I feel like the Arbor Elf Utopia Sprawl engine is everywhere. Hence my hatred for Utopia Sprawl. I just like cannot keep up with it. So.
Just pack your land hate. Yeah. Once you Ghost Quarter a land with Utopia Sprawl on it, that feeling's so good. Once you Ghost Quarter a land with more than one Utopia Sprawl on it, your heart just fills.
When people gang up their sprawls on one land, and I'm like, you do realize that, like,
I mean,
you're just one like land blow up spell away from it. Like,
it's just so explosive though. Like, if you've got 2 sprawls on a forest and you've got an Arbor Elf in play, like that represents so much mana.
I was listening to the Dive Down. Shout out to the podcast.
Love those
Follow
guys.
them at the Dive Down. Yeah, I was listening to them, and then they were doing a deep dive on Ponza, and they were talking. I think it's Dave. He had like 2 Glory Bringers on turn 3 or something. Like just like the most ridiculous. Like that's absurd. Like how are you supposed to keep up with that? And yeah. I don't know. Fair Magic is you got to be playing some kind of busted thing or like
or make people pay for their unfair Magic.
Yeah. So yeah, we'll see how Jun evolves too. That one is always around. So I you know, this channel is no stranger to Jun. Obviously, I've played it in the past. So trying to figure out how to adapt that. Kind of want to do a Jun video here, and with the new meta, it's always fun to do that. So
yeah, absolutely. Well, up next, I'll be coming out with a new video here pretty soon. I'm gonna be playing some Veto Sisters. So if you watched Kai Guy's latest video, you might have gotten a sneak peek of that. So that's what's coming up next from me.
Well, it's very fun to drop in on your match. There it goes. Let's take a look and see what's going on. So nice little plug for the next video.
Indeed.
My next video, I'm hoping to do either another episode of Short Stack, so where I play a best of 1 match with whatever deck I'm feeling lucky with, or and long form video. I hinted towards it at the end of my Blue Moon video, but I'm looking at a Grixis Dragons build, utilizing the peaks from M21. So look for those videos in the next week or so. So.
In my testing of Veto Sisters, I didn't get this one on camera, but I actually ran into someone who was playing a Grixis Dragons list. I tried to get the list. I was hoping to share it with you. Unfortunately, my opponent never responded. But they had a Grixis Dragons list, and they were running the dragon. It's a new dragon that cares about artifacts. And they were running.
Oh, yeah. Talking about.
Yeah. And they were running Hangerback.
Unfortunately, I do not own Mishra's Bubbles, and those are.
I didn't see them playing any Mishra's Bubbles. Maybe they had it in their deck. I never saw it. The only artifact I saw was the Hangerback Walker.
Interesting. Yeah, I definitely think it would be ideal to have Mishra's Baubles if you're playing that.
If you want to sack Baubles, you don't keep Baubles around.
I guess that's true. I don't know. I have been testing and playing around with this build, so I'm digging it. Sarkhan, Sprite Dragon is also really good in the deck. You can play Sarkhan and Sprite Dragon in 1 turn for 3 mana, so that's pretty dope. But look for the videos in the future. So,
absolutely. All right. Well, with that, I think we're gonna wrap this up. And so thanks for watching. Make sure that you have the high ground. Thanks, everybody.
Bye-bye from the Kai Guy.
I have the high ground!